Doug is fairly legendary in the classic bicycle arena. Everybody kind of knows that he was one of the first Americans to go to England to learn frame building and bring it back to the States. I have absolutely no background in bicycle building, that's why I came here, but bicycle riding I have a fair background and a long time relationship with bicycle, from being a mechanic back in the late 60s through riding to today. Also collecting classic bicycles. Probably the biggest thing I would recommend is to do as much research on different types of bikes, what they're looking for in a bike, the components that exist on bikes around them. The class will reveal a lot of the different approaches people take in the construction of bicycles, in the way a bicycle rides.
So I started here, and warmed up the inside of it so that the bottom portion was near heat. And I got close here so that it wouldn't spread the heat all over. And then when I began, I did a run across this side. Then I came over here and did a run across this side, being careful not to go onto the seat tube. And then I hit a little bit of heat in the back to make sure it's across. Generally warmed the area again so it had a nice fillip look, and then I got out.
The bike I'm building is a French Radinier type light touring bike. This is a bike that would be unusual in my collection, having a lot of racing bikes and track bikes, all of which I ride considerably. A French Radinier will be a little wider tires, a lightweight tubing, and a little looser geometry than what I'm used to.
Probably the most difficult thing for me to do was to adapt the function of the bike to the bike that I wanted to design, because I wasn't very familiar with what type of geometry works with what bike. So it was really helpful to review that. And for me, I found the brazing aspect of it, because of my soldering background in metals and jewelry, to be easier and the part that I like the most. A single-speed cross bike. I've never even ridden a single-speed before, but I decided I'm going to race cyclocross on the single-speed cross bike that I'm making. I'm calling it the Gothic Cross Bike because it's got these lovely Gothic-style lugs. Here. And as I was interested in making custom lugs, I started this little project right here. This little project took several days, so I wasn't able to finish the custom lug job, so I decided to go with these, which I thought gave a better look for a cross bike. And here I had to cut the lugs down and merge them together to create a single lug in the front. The industry doesn't really make bikes specifically fit for women. A lot of women can't fit, even with the WSD designs coming out, a lot of women are too small to fit on a bike that hasn't been really adapted for them. So my interest in bicycles, aside from custom lugs, would be to make bikes for women. If you're planning on taking this class, I would be prepared to do a lot of hard work because it is very hard in terms of the time commitment that you have to have. I think if you want to be a good craftsperson, I think it's really important to commit yourself to the craftsmanship that you need to have to build a bike well. And I've been up every night after class, every night working hard on my filing. I mean, I think it's a good place to be able to perfect some finishing techniques and filing, and it's a good base for building a repertoire of different techniques. But I would recommend that people have a good attitude, a sense of humor, and a good work ethic, and a passion for bikes.
I got into bikes about 2 years ago, and ever since I've been taking them apart more and more. And I heard about this class through one of the people I work with. Well, in the past 2 weeks, I went from basically not knowing anything about any sort of metal work at all to being able to brazing up a whole frame. And the hardest part about it, I would have to say, was the repetition. Everything's a lot more accurate than I previously thought. There's a lot more tinkering and very, very small things. I never really thought 1 millimeter could make so much of a difference. I'm building a fixed gear bike with more relaxed geometry than a traditional track frame, so that it's suitable to ride around in the city for daily use. I live in Center City, Philadelphia. In my rear triangle, I have curved seat stays because I accidentally bought BMX dropouts instead of track dropouts, so the angle was off. So to compensate, I did a 10-inch radius curve in the seat stays, which is kind of more of like a Hetchins design, old Hetchins bikes. We're trying to figure out a way to make the dropouts work, and he said one thing you could do is make them curved. I'm like, how hard would that be? And what he said to me was, that'd be too hard for you. So I guess I just abandoned the idea until I brought it up with Doug, who said it's completely possible. So then I just ran with it, really. It's incredibly hard to do everything, and don't expect a lot of sleep. In the 2 weeks I've been here, there hasn't been a single night that I've gone to bed before midnight, and it's just so much work. It's hard to believe that you really will finish in a day.
I come from New Jersey, and what brought me here was the legendary Doug Fattic's frame building class. I wanted to learn from someone so interested in craftsmanship, as interested as I am. That was wasn't that like perfect for a promotional? She loved it. Look at her. It was perfectly cheesy, but isn't that the whole concept of doing this? I mean, that's always, yeah.
Can you stop chewing gum just for, do you have more gum later? Like, can I ask you?
I can save this until next week. Hey, like, no problem.
Our University of Wisconsin has the bike club. Their biking team has a t-shirt that says, "Put the fun between your legs."
Oh yeah, I've seen that t-shirt.
I have one.
What was the hardest thing for you in this class?
Putting up with Doug. Was that a good marketing thing? No, it wasn't at all putting up with Doug.